Guys, good morning.
Very good morning, Piyush.
Good morning. Can you all able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Fine. So, yes, what we have covered in the previous session, I think we have covered what instance type pricing, correct? On demand pricing, that and all we have covered, right? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Different pricing options of instances.
Yes, correct. Yeah. So, we have covered the on demand pricing. What else? Spot instances, dedicated server, reserved instances. So, these are all the four pricing options we have covered, right? So I will log into my AWS management console. Fine. Okay. So I will create one EC2. For that, let me click on this EC2 server and click on instances and click on launch instance, where we need to give a name of an instance. Maybe for this example, I will take the Linux machine and come below, and I have selected the AMI also, which is Linux 2 AMI. Instance type it is T2 micro, and I have to create new key pair. So click on this. I can give the key pair name. So key pair hyphen 27 hyphen February. Fine. Come below and click on a create a key pair. Now I have a key pair in my machine, and along with that, I have to allow the SSH key because I need to access my Linux server. So for that, I am allowing the SSH key. Yes, here we need to discuss. So the one more part, which is the storage part. So today my topic is storage. Storage in your EC2. Guys, at the time of EC2 creation, while creating an EC2, right, we can able to give the storage. You all agree. Like here we can give whatever that we want. Suppose if we require 16 GB, yeah, you can mention. If you need 8 GB, yeah, you can mention. Any memory that you require, but a free tier eligible, they can get up to the 30 GB only. But again, so if you are ready to pay, you can get any kind of storage part from this EC2 from the AWS. Suppose if I want to add one more storage and all, like I need another storage, in that case, you can add the new volume also. Suppose, let me leave like this. I have a 8 gigabyte memory and number of instances. When I click on launch instance, so it will launch your EC2 instance. Now let me click. One minute. Right. So click on the instances. Yeah, one machine is running now. One Linux machine is running now. Already I've started some instance. I think I don't want. I can terminate this instance. Let me terminate. Yeah. Only one Linux machine is running now. So what I will do now, let me click on this and connect to this EC2 instance also. Click on connect. And through the EC2 connect, I have launched these particular instances. But what is my question? At the time of, while creating an EC2 instance, I can able to create a storage part. But once EC2 is running, can I able to create the storage part? If you ask me, yeah, we can able to create. While creating an EC2 instance, we can create the storage part in the same way. Once the EC2 is up and running, that time also we can able to create the instance. How? Let me click on this checkbox and you can see the storage, right? Click on the storage. And already we have one volume here. Let me check on this. Already we have a volume, right? That got attached. But if you ask me, what is the GP, like 8 gigabyte we have given here. But if you want to add some additional volume, how can I do that one? That's the question. So if you want to add additional volume, how to add the additional volume? For that, left hand side, you can see volumes, right? Here you can see the volume. Click on this. And you already have a 4 gigabyte. This is, I think, earlier I was creating this one. Let me click on this one also. This is the default, At the time of EC2 creation, we got this memory. Is that right? Let me check once again, like which ends with the 49. Go to your EC2 instance and click on that. See, it's a 49, right? Fine. Now come click on this. Now, can I able to add additional volume here? Well, EC2 is running. Can I able to add additional volume? Yeah, we can able to add the volume. How? You can click on this checkbox, right? Click on the create volume and you have to fill the necessary information here. Thereby, at the time of EC2 creation, we can able to add. Also, once the EC2 is up and running, then also you can able to add some additional volume. Suppose if you are working in a project, if you are working for some client, the client is saying, right, hey, this memory or this storage is not enough to us. So can you add some additional memory or additional storage? In that case, what you should do? You have to go to the EC2 instance, left hand side, you can see the volume and click on that. And then you can add the volume. Hey, sorry, getting my point? Yes, can you quickly confirm? So far
Yes,
clear?
yes, Dinesh. Yeah.
Okay. This audio problem I have fixed. So you guys can unmute and confirm, right? So no need to send in the chat. You just unmute and confirm like whether you can able to understand or not so far. Others, Irfan, Naveen, Marshall, others.
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay.
Clear, sir.
Okay. Okay. Right. So if you see this volume type, first option is the volume type, right? There we have a many volume type. This is our discussion, under our discussion. So what are the different volume types are available in our AWS? In our storage part, we have a many volume type. One by one, we'll discuss now. Again, it is an important interview question asked. In the time of interview, people might ask, hey, why we are having this many volume type? Right, only 1 minute, please. Yes, listen. First, right, in case of your storage, the first one is we can create the volume at the time of EC2 creation itself. That basically we can call it as instant store. That we can call it as an instant store. When I say instant store, at the time of EC2 creation itself, we are filling the 7 steps, right? In that, we have a volume also, one of the steps, storage also, one of the steps. So if you ask me, the instant store, it is earlier, it is the default storage. Earlier, when I say earlier, maybe 3 years back or 2 years back, it was the default storage at the time of EC2 creation. And here, we are creating a storage, right? That storage, we can call it as ephemeral storage. The storage, we can call it as ephemeral storage. Do you know, guys, Joe, what is ephemeral? What is meant by ephemeral? Any idea on this? What is ephemeral? What is ephemeral? Right, no issues. I will tell you. Listen. Suppose okay, no problem. Listen. Right. Listen. Suppose I have a machine, guys. Consider like I have a machine. This machine is connected with my internal hard drive. When I say machine, what? EC2 is my machine, right? So I will take EC2 also. This EC2 is connected with my internal hard drive, right? We have connected. Now I have a question for you. If I have a machine, the storage part, the internal drive also is tightly attached with this machine. Maybe there is a tightly coupling here. Now, due to some reason, your machine got failed or your machine, broken, or your machine is having some disaster. You are not able to, open the machine and the machine is completely destroyed. Now, you are trying to retrieve this data. Will you be able to do or not? Can you take some real-time example? You have a laptop and in your laptop, you have an internal drive, right? So you have connected to the internal drive. Due to some reason, laptop is completely destroyed. Now, I want to get the data from the laptop. Will it possible or it is difficult? Can you confirm?
It is possible.
It is possible. I'm saying, right, the machine is completely broken. And your data is stored in internal drive, the laptop which is directly connected with the RAM.
If it is on the laptop, definitely we cannot.
Yes, exactly. On the laptop, we cannot do that one. So that basically we can call it as ephemeral storage. Ephemeral storage is nothing but if your machine fails, then we cannot get the data. That's nothing but an internal store or ephemeral storage. Suppose, let me take one more example. Now you all know, right? So the RAM is a volatile memory. Why we are calling RAM as a volatile memory? See, whenever you restart your machine, whenever you shut down your machine, or what will happen? Whatever the data is available in your RAM, that will be completely wiped up, that will be completely deleted. And when you restart your machine, you will get the fresh RAM, right? That's the reason RAM is very fast. It's a volatile. It's very fast. But you will lose the data whenever you restart or whenever you shut down your machine. That's the reason RAM is, we can call it as a volatile and ephemeral storage. In the same way, What I'm saying, you have a EC2 instance. On top of your EC2 instance, if you have some internal drive, when you stop or terminate your EC2 instance, what will happen? The instance store, whatever the data that you have stored, it completely deleted. It is called as ephemeral storage. Everyone clear with this? What is mean by ephemeral storage?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
When I say ephemeral storage, if your EC2 stop or fail or terminate due to some reason, what will happen? Whatever the internal store that you have, where you will lose your data. Earlier, 2 years back, at the time of EC2 creation, we all used what kind of storage? That storage is an ephemeral storage in your AWS. So what is the one disadvantage in your ephemeral storage? When you terminate or EC2 is failed due to some reason, your data will be lost. But now, at the time of EC2 creation itself, you are using some storage, right? That storage is that's not a ephemeral storage. It is an EBS. EBS means elastic block storage. That storage is nothing but elastic block storage. Now, it is a default storage in your AWS. This elastic block storage, what is the advantage? It is the persistent. Storage. So I will give you an example. Listen, same. I have a machine. Consider like I have a machine. At this time, maybe you have an internal drive also. So if you don't want, that also is not available. What I can do, let me take one external drive. When it's external drive, what is an external drive? Maybe a pen drive I can take it. I have a pen drive, right? It's an external drive. So now I will connect this laptop or this machine with the external drive. Now this time, there's a disaster. You lost your laptop. Now tell me, will you guys lost the data or the data will be available in your pen drive or maybe some external drive like Google Drive or maybe a cloud, whatever it might be, where you will save the data and it will be available anytime, whenever if you want, you can able to retrieve. Is that right? Or you will lose the data? Can I confirm, guys?
We can retrieve the data.
Exactly. So we can able to retrieve the data, right? Because your hard drive, your machine is connected with your external drive only. Thereby, you cannot lose the data. Anytime you want, you can able to retrieve the data. Anytime you want, you can retrieve the data. So that in AWS, nowadays we are using some EC2 instance, right? Whatever the EC2 instance that we are using, that is using the EBS, elastic block storage. That using is nothing but elastic block storage. It is the persistent storage. Here, it acts as external drive, so you will not lose the data. You will not lose data. And how this machine and your EBS is connected? Through the network. It is attached to over a network. Take an example of your mobile as some Gmail. And it is directly connected with some external drive, right? So suppose if you have a mobile and in your mobile you are using the multiple apps, right? WhatsApp, and you connected with a Google Drive means even if you fail to use your mobile, where the data is available. The data is available in Google Drive. Right? In the same way, your EC2 machine in your AWS, it is connected to your elastic block storage over a network. Nowadays, whatever the storage that we are using from your AWS for EC2, that storage is an Elastic block storage. In default, you are using elastic block storage. Let me confirm. See, I have a AWS EC2 and click on instances. Now this machine, can you see here what they have mentioned for this EC2? For this EC2, what is the root device type? It is an EBS, elastic block storage. In default, in AWS, we are using what? Elastic block storage. Now, different volume types in your AWS. This is our topic. Guys, remember, there are ephemeral storage and persistent storage. Nowadays, we are using a service from your AWS, which is an EBS. EBS is not a service again. EBS is the feature of your EC2. EBS is the storage of an EC2. Now, EBS is not a separate service for your information. EC2 is one service, but EBS is not a separate service. Now, volume types. Different volume types of your EBS. It is an important entry question. So for understanding this one, first I will take two things. What is meant by cold data? What is meant by cold data? And what is meant by hard data? There are two terminology that you need to remember. What is meant by cold data and what is meant by hard data? When we should go for cold data, then we should go for hard data. Guys, suppose you all know, right? Data. Data means whatever the operation that you are doing. Yeah, of course, it's a data. Data is, right? So now, in some places, in some storage, whatever the data that you have used, right? That you are going to rarely use. Infrequent access. Suppose you have a data in some storage part. Now you are thinking like, hey, I will not regularly monitor this data. I will not regularly utilize this data. You know, in WhatsApp or in Facebook, you have something called a married status, right? At the time of EC2 creation, you will give a married status like no or yes. But after a couple of years, whenever if you get married, then only you will mark from no to yes, right? Every day you will not use the marital status and you cannot update this data. So that data it represents, it is rarely you guys can utilize, right? But if you go for Amazon, now you are buying the product. Will you guys regularly we will use or only one time? No, right? Based on again our budget that you will frequently access. But some data you will not frequently access. Some data you will access rarely. In that case, you guys can choose what kind of volume type. You can choose cold data. Cold data is nothing but here you will rarely access the data. Rarely access your data or infrequent access. Not regularly you will use that particular data. In some situation, you are working with some project. If you want to store data into some storage part, you are thinking like I'm not going to use this data every time. Daily I will not use it. Then go for the cold data storage. So why should I go for cold data storage? Because here, whenever you require a lowest cost is required, lowest cost is needed, and you are thinking like this data I'm not going to use continuously. Then this time you can go for a cold data. Cold data is one of the volume type from your AWS EC2 console, management console. The second one is hard data. So hard data here they are giving in the different terminology, which is throughput, optimized SSD, optimized HDD, HDD means hard disk drive. In the same way, here also you can make it as HDD, cold hard disk drive. So when you will go for cold hard disk drive, whenever you are thinking like this data that I'm going to use with the infrequent access, and I need the lowest cost storage, then you guys can select a cold data. So when you need to go for hard data, throughput optimized drive. So when you are processing, huge amount of data, right? So you need to where we are processing huge amount of data. And maybe I can give you something like big data, right? When you go for a big data, or when you select data warehousing, and maybe a log processing, there and all, you need to handle a lot of data. You need to handle a huge amount of data, a bulk data, the data you are utilizing continuously. Then do not go for cold HDD. You have to go for throughput optimized. Again, you have to pay a lot when compared to cold data. You may have a question, what is throughput? Yes, I will tell you. No, don't worry, I will tell you. As of now, you just think like it is an hard data. Hot HDD. Hot HDD means throughput optimized HDD. Because in storage, we have a two terminology. One is cold data and another hard data. Cold data means wherever you are accessing your data, maybe infrequently, rarely that you are utilizing that particular data. Hard data means you have a huge amount of data that you need to process every day or continuously. Then you guys can select the throughput optimized HDD. So the big data, like data warehousing, log processing, wherever you are seeing a bulk amount of data, you have to select the throughput optimized. Now I will tell you what is meant by throughput. What is meant by throughput? Throughput is nothing but the amount of data. But before the throughput, it's a factor. It's a factor to decide the performance, guys. To decide the performance. Throughput is a factor to decide the performance. It is a factor to decide the performance. So it means that amount of data transferring, amount of data that we are transferring or receiving per second. So amount of data that we are transferring or receiving per second. Suppose you have a machine. And you have machine means laptop or maybe a desktop. Any hardware you can take. Your machine is connected with some extra drive, like your pen drive. It is connected with a USB drive, pen drive. You can call USB drive, right? USB flash drive, like that we can call USB flash drive. Now suppose you need to whatever the data that you have into the machine, that you want to save it in the USB flash drive. Suppose, consider like you have a machine where we have a 100 or 200 MB data. 200 MB data you have. Now what you guys can need to know, I need to copy this data from this machine to USB drive for my external purpose. I want to copy the data, 200 MB data from the machine to USB flash drive. Now, when you buy a USB flash drive, right, in the pen drive itself, they have written like this. A throughput is throughput is like 20 MB per second, 20 MB per second, or 10 MB per second, 5 MB per second. What does it means? You are copying, right, a data from the machine to USB flash drive. How much data that you have? You have a 200 MB data. Now they are saying 200 MB per second. It means that per second we can able to transfer 20 MB. Then how many seconds that we require totally in order to copy your data from machine to USB? Of course, 10 seconds, right? 200 divided by 20, which is equal to 10 seconds. 10 seconds. So here, per a second, how much data that I can able to copy from the machine to USB? Suppose if I take the throughput is 40 MB per second, what does it means? I can able to transfer this entire amount of data from my machine to pen drive within a 5 second, right? Within a 5 second. So this is nothing but a throughput. Throughput means per a second, the amount of data that we are transferring or receiving from a machine to any external drive or external drive to machine. Everyone clear what is meant by throughput?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm expecting your
Yes,
answer.
sir.
Everyone clear?
Yes, clear.
Okay. So there are two data. One is the cold data and another one is throughput optimized data. So in throughput optimized, you can able to transfer a bulk amount of data. You can store the bulk amount of data you can able to store. This too, comes under HDD, guys. It is the one of the type actually. Hard disk drive. Cold HDD and the throughput optimized HDD. Now, there are third volume type. Third volume type is we have a provisioned IOPS SSD is a solid state drive. Provisioned IOPS SSD. Along with that, we also have a general purpose SSD. General purpose SSD. So there are two drive. One provisioned IOPS SSD means solid state drive. If you ask me what is SSD? SSD means solid state drive. As like earlier we have discussed hard disk drive, we have a solid state drive also. Solid state drive. In HDD, we have a two types. One is the cold HDD and the hot throughput optimized HDD. And in SSD, again, we have a provisioned IOPS. IOPS means input output per second. Input output per second. Input output per second. It is an IOPS. Now, when we should go for general purpose, when we should go for provisioned IOPS. The general purpose, whenever you hear this word, when you need balance performance and cost. But the question is, what is the balanced performance and cost? Okay. Along with it, you will get the balanced IOPS also. What is meant by IOPS? Input output per second. Guys, when I spoke about throughput, what I said, throughput is the amount of data that we are transferring or receiving per second. It's a throughput. What is meant by IOPS? What is meant by IOPS? Can you tell me someone what is meant by IOPS? Input output per second. What do you understand from this term?
Maybe uploading and downloading.
Okay. Uploading or downloading. So amount of data that we are transferring, which is your throughput. But IOPS means number of input, and input and output operations per second. Number of, or I can say, or number of read and write operations per second. So amount of data that we are transferring per second is the throughput. Number of input output operation per second is your IOPS. Say guys, I will give you one real-time example. Imagine we have a database administrator. Imagine like you are a database administrator and you need to store here, or you need to choose a storage system for your database server. You need to choose a storage system for your database server. Suppose option 1, I'm giving 2 options. First option is one storage system provides 10,000 IOPS and 500 MB per second throughput. 500 MB per second throughput. I will give you another option like 50,000 IOPS and 200 MB per second throughput. So I'm giving 2 options. As I mentioned, imagine you are a database administrator and you need to choose a storage system for your database server. I'm giving 2 options. One is the 10,000 IOPS and 500 MB per second throughput, and another option is 50,000 IOPS and 200 MB per second throughput. Right. In this scenario, if your workload consists of a large amount of sequential data, when I say sequential data, suppose you want to stream a media file, right? You are doing a multiple operation, a large amount of data, of sequential data. You would want to choose option 2, guys, because you have a sequential data, large amount of, when you have a large amount of sequential data, then it means that you have a multiple operation that you are going to perform. Suppose if you take an e-commerce application, some people, they will go to Amazon in order to view the cart. Some people, they will go like in order to view your like order, the order that you have placed. Some people, they will search some product and they will see the what is the cost is available here. Thereby they can compare with the offline. Some people, they will order the product. Some people, they will do the payment operation. Then it means that here you have a multiple work, a multiple read and write operation that will be happening on typical e-commerce platform. Then in that case, you need what? You need IOPS. IOPS means the multiple read and write operation. So you would choose option 2 with the higher IOPS but lower throughput. That's enough. So you have to go for option 2. When I say option 2, you have to select higher IOPS and lower throughput. That's fine. Because you have a sequential data, it means that you have a multiple read and write operation that you want to perform. Suppose if your workload consists of a large amount of small like a random or read and write operation. Suppose if your workload consists of a large amount of small random read write operation. You are not doing read write operation frequently. Example, like a database with a multiple user accessing a different table at the same time. Multiple user, accessing a different table at the same time. You would want to choose what? Option 1. Because here you are doing the multiple read and write operation, right? See, better, it may confuse you. I will give you one small example here. You will easily understand. Suppose, imagine you have a 2 USB flash drive. I have a 2 USB flash drive. Imagine you have a 2 USB flash drive. One with write a speed of around 10 MB per second. One write speed is 10 MB per second. And another one is 20 MB per second. 20 MB second. Let's you want to transfer 200 MB per second. So you want to transfer 200 MB per second in your computer. If you use a USB flash drive, right, 10 MB per second, how much second it will take? It will take around 200 by 10, around 20 seconds. On 20 seconds to transfer the complete file. But if I take 20 MB, 200 by 20, which is 10 seconds, it will take 10 seconds to transfer all your data. Now, here, what is the matter, right? You have a one larger file that you have to transfer from one system to another system. Then what is your focus? You should focus on throughput. You have to focus on throughput. But however, suppose if we have 100 small files, guys, consider like you have 100 small files. Here we have a one large file. 200 MB second is a one large file. One large file. But suppose I will take 100 small files. 100 small files. And each of consider like maybe 2 MB in size. 2 MB in size. Now, I need to copy this 100 small file from my laptop to the external drive. What do you think? Will you focus on throughput or IOPS? Here, you are focusing on multiple files, guys. Multiple read and write operation be required. Then which one you have to focus on? You have to focus on IOPS. Instead of focusing on throughput, the one more factor that you need to focus on, IOPS. Throughput is for faster delivery. And IOPS is nothing but number of read and write operation effectively you have to do per second. So depending on type of data that you want to transfer or store, you would want to choose the storage device, whether it's an IOPS or it's a throughput. Everyone clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Yes, are you able to differentiate this IOPS along with the throughput? Or do you want me to tell one more example? Okay, listen. Suppose you want to play a high performance game, guys. You know, right? Gaming laptop and all nowadays we got. You want to play a high performance game that requires a lot of data, right? To be read from the hard drive. So in this case, you have to focus what? You have to focus a throughput, high throughput you need, because it can read a data faster and provide you with a smoother gaming experience. Then obviously we need to go for your throughput. But suppose if you want to back up a large amount of data, like in your mobile, you have a photo, you have a video, or you have a document and all, from your computer to hard drive. In this case, we want to choose the backup hard drive with a higher IOPS, because it can handle the multiple small read-write operation. Like it will copy your data. It might be a photo or image, videos, or maybe a files, right? There are multiple files it should access. Then which one you need to focus on? You need to focus on IOPS. Yes, both IOPS and throughput are important metrics, but depending on the specific task, one metric can be more important than other. Sometimes I need to handle with the one single file that I have to transfer, go with the throughput. Sometimes I have a multiple small file where I need to perform the sequential action and I have to transfer this data. Then it is better to go for IOPS. Are you clear? Everyone clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So there are two SSD I mentioned. One is the general purpose and another one is a throughput optimized, right? So let me show you that one. Click on these volumes and I can create the volume. Click on create volume. Here, you have a many option, right? A general purpose we have, and we have a different generation, different version, and we have a provision IOPS, we have a cold data and throughput optimized. Already we have discussed cold and throughput. And we have someone magnetic case. It's a very world drive and no company they are using currently. Magnetic is right. Earlier we have a big laptop and all. That time they have used the storage, which is nothing but a magnetic drive. Again, it is ignorable. We can skip it. Only thing is we'll focus on four things: cold data, throughput optimized, general purpose, provision IOPS. Now let me go with the provision IOPS first. Now I will select the provision IOPS. When I select the provision IOPS, can you see here? Here you can select your storage. How much storage that you can store? From the 4 GB to 65,536 gigabyte. You can select the storage from 4 GB to 65,536 gigabyte. That's powerful storage. You will get it from the EBS, from the EC to EBS. Now, when I change your storage, minimum I have to give 4 GB. When I change your storage, can you see your IOPS also getting changed? What is the maximum IOPS that you will get? Again, based on your storage, guys. Based on your storage, you can get it. Can I give 20,000 here? No. So here they have given for 1 gigabyte, the minimum you can select 100 GB. I have given the 4 GB, right? So 1 GB. 1 minute. Let me select this one. Yes. What is they have given? Up to 50 gigabyte per GB. 1 GB, how many IOPS it's providing? Number of input and output operation, around 50 gigabyte. If I go with the second version, I think they have increased actually. Per gigabyte itself, you are getting the 1000 IOPS. Per GB, you are getting around 1000 gigabyte, 1000 IOPS. The number is not a matter, guys. I'm telling like the difference. If you go with the provision IOPS, 1 GB, we are getting the 50 IOPS. But if you go with the version 2, you are getting 1000 IOPS. It's more powerful. So if you select the 4 GB, maximum you can select the 4000 IOPS. So you cannot select more than 4000. But if you go with the IO1, if you select a 4 GB, 4 into 50, which is a 200 gigabyte. 201, if you get, you will get an error. Right? So this is for your understanding. It is not an interview question. What is the maximum IOPS it's offering? That's based on this one, right? So here we have a 16,384. If you mention here, maximum you will get the 64,000 IOPS. Maximum you will get 64,000 IOPS. Now suppose if you go here and when you select 65,536, you will get around 2,56,000 IOPS. This is the maximum IOPS. Maximum IOPS. Right. So what is the one thing that I need to select your provisional IOPS? If you ask me, the provisional IOPS, it will give you great performance, guys. It will give you more performance. It will give you more performance. More performance. And the second one is same. You have to pay a lot of money here. High cost. High cost. So when we should go for your provisional IOPS? The provisional IOPS, the use cases is good for, good for maybe a continuous traffic. Continuous traffic. See, what is meant by traffic? Traffic is nothing but a number of users they are currently using your application. It is nothing but your traffic. See, suppose you have an application. I have my EC2 instance. This EC2 instance is connected with the external drive. It is connected with the external drive, which is nothing but a provisional IOPS. When the people, they will opt for provisional IOPS. Whenever they are getting the traffic, continuous traffic, they are continuously getting the huge spike, then people, they will go for the provision IOPS. Whenever you are getting a huge traffic continuously, there are more users. If you take an Amazon, now also maybe around 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs users, they are currently using the e-commerce application. Then the traffic is always continuous. If you take Facebook, do we have any time limit like Facebook? We have to use morning, Facebook we have to use evening. Every time, Facebook application we are using. The traffic is very high in that particular portal and all. Right? So then here, which storage part you have to go for? You guys can go for the provisional IOPS. Here you will get the more performance, but again, the cost is also high. Now, you have a question. You may have a question like, when we should go for general purpose range? When we should go for general purpose? See, if you take your AWS console, right? The provisional IOPS, it is giving like in version 1, we are getting 1 gigabyte, it's providing the 50 gigabytes, sorry, 50 IOPS. In the same way, in version 2, 1 gigabyte is giving 1000 IOPS. But if we select general purpose, in general purpose also we have a 2 version. I will select this one, general purpose. What is the size it's offering? Minimum 1 GB, the maximum 16,384. And what is the maximum IOPS you are getting? You are getting maximum IOPS of 16,000. So if you select 16,384, what is the maximum IOPS you are getting? You are getting the 16,000 IOPS, only 16,000. But what is the IOPS that you are getting in the provision? Can you see in the version 1 itself, you are getting the 64,000. In version 2, you are getting around 2,56,000. But if we go with the general purpose, the maximum is 16,000. Maybe I will go with this one. I can get the maximum of same 16,000. Right. So what I'm saying. So here, when compared to the provisional IOPS, the IOPS is low only. Right. Suppose, let me select this general purpose 2. And what is the 1 gigabytes is offering? 1 gigabyte is offering around 3 GB. 3 IOPS. 1 gigabyte is offering maximum of 3 IOPS. So if you do 10 GB, which may give 10 into 3, which is 30 IOPS. But the question is, Can you see here the slash, right? 100 by 3000. What is it means? What is this 100 by 3000? It is an entry question, guys. That's the reason I'm taking. Listen. What is this? 100 divided by 3000. When you go for the provisional IOPS, you are seeing only one number. But if you go with the general purpose, here you are seeing the two number. Slash. Right. Listen, let me explain you. Suppose you have a EC2. This EC2, you already connected with your EBS, elastic block storage. And you have selected the volume type. Consider like it's a general purpose. General purpose. General purpose you have selected. It is already connected. It is already connected. Now, you are getting in traffic. Okay. Now you are getting a traffic. Normal traffic you are getting, guys, from the EC2, you are getting the normal traffic. In order to satisfy this normal traffic to your EC2 instance, we already selected the general purpose. We have already selected this under general purpose. What I am saying, right? The 300 IOPS is enough actually. Now to satisfy this one, the 100 IOPS is enough. But suddenly, you are getting a spike, guys. You are getting the huge traffic. When I say traffic, the number of user experience, number of user got increased. Your load got increased. Then 100 gigabyte, it is not enough. Maybe consider like I need 1000 gigabyte. I need what? 1000 IOPS. I need 1000 IOPS now to satisfy this one. So then right hand side, we have a 3000, right? From this 3000, 1000 IOPS will be utilized from your EC2, from the EBS, that will be supplied here. It will work on. It will work on. Remaining, how many IOPS we have? Which is, we can call it as 2000 IOPS, right? The 2000, it's a reserved IOPS. We have a 2000 IOPS, still we have. Now, what you guys are getting, you are getting the small traffic. And suddenly, you are getting another spike also. Now, this time, you are getting around 2500. You need a 2500 IOPS. Now, I cannot use the 2000, right? I am getting the 2500 IOPS. Guys, remember, this time, right? This time, we have a duration, right? Automatically, what AWS will do, it will refill this one to its normal value. To its normal value, which is 3000. Thereby, the 2500 supplied here, remaining we have a 500 IOPS. And then you are getting the normal traffic. Suddenly, you are getting again one more spike. And you need this time a 2K, 2000. See, this duration, what AWS will do, it will refill it. When I refill it, what will happen? Once again, you will get the 3000. Now, this is utilized here. So, what I am saying in general purpose, whenever you get a sudden spike in a traffic once in a while, when you get a sudden traffic once in a while, other time you are getting the normal traffic only. You guys can select what? General purpose. General purpose. Suppose, let me take a 300 divided by 3000. I have like that they have given. So this 3000, right hand side, it is called as reserved instance. It is called as reserved IOPS. Reserved IOPS. suppose you have utilized the around 2000 IOPS, if you are thinking like, suppose if your IOPS lesser than 3000, like that, 2500, 2000, like that, because you have utilized, in that case you get 3000 IOPS in reserve 3000 extra IOPS. Maybe I can consider like extra IOPS because it's a refillable. Automatically it will be refilled. It has the property of refillable. So when you need to go for your provisional IOPS and when you need to go for general purpose, which is good for scenario where you get a sudden spike in traffic once in a while. At that time, you can go for general purpose SSD. If you have any question, you can ask me, guys. This is an interview question. Maybe you can expect at the time of interview. If someone is asking you what is this forward slash, first one is the normal. The second IOPS, it's for reserved IOPS. So it is whenever if you get any sudden traffic, that time it is used. Even if you utilize, that is the refillable. It has the property of refillable by the AWS. Can you quickly confirm any question here till now? Can you quickly confirm any questions so far? Guys, I'm audible?
Sir, IOPS will automatically unit the measures, right? Based on size.
Exactly, correct. IOPS is purely based on the number of gigabyte, the number of storage.
Okay.
It's
Okay,
correct.
clear.
Others? Guys, why are you not replying? Whether you able to understand or do you want me to repeat or anywhere you are stuck, tell me. Or otherwise you are just listening or is it online session you are not available? Can you confirm? Dinesh Kumar, are you available? Why you guys at least can respond, right? Say yes or no. It is not a difficult, I think so.
Yeah, Dinesh, it's okay.
Okay. Everyone, Prashant, Radha, Raghavendra, tell me.
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay.
Send the notes, sir.
Yeah, I will send you, but I need to cover one more thing. Listen. Only 10 minutes. Listen. One EC2 we will create it. Thereby we will get some idea for that. So go to EC2 and I will create an EBS. At the time of EC2 is running, I will select which one we can go for. Yeah, we'll go for general purpose itself. So I can select 1 gigabyte memory. It is enough to me. Let me select 1 gigabyte. And we are getting the IOPS, right? So if you want to apply the throughput, you can apply, but I have selected the SSD only. Automatically throughput will be calculated by your AWS itself. And the availability zone, many availability zones are available. You have to select the availability zone also. And come below. And snapshot is a backup. That's my tomorrow topic. Tomorrow I will cover the snapshot. And in default, in AWS, you will get the encryption and all. For that reason, encryption. Rest of the thing, you just leave it as of now. And go with the tags. So if you want to apply some tag, you can apply. So name. And I will apply a tag called EBS volume. Like that, I can give some name. See guys, I have only selected the volume type and the size. Rest of the thing, I didn't select. So click on create volume. Now can you see I got the volume here? Already we have a volume. Now we got one more volume. It is also general purpose. And the one I have got and under GPI got. Now I need to attach this volume to my EC2, right? For that, I'm clicking on this and go to the action. Let me refresh this. Click on this. Can you see attach volume? I have to attach this volume to my EC2. Click on this attach volume and come below. And I'm clicking on this. And it is saying no matching running or stopped instance. Okay. Why there is no instance here? Anyone can guess? Anyone can guess, guys? Why I cannot see anything? Listen. No problem. Listen. Suppose you have a region. Suppose you have a region. This is my region. Inside the region, I have an availability zone. This is my availability zone 1. And this is my availability zone 2. This is my 2 availability zone. Availability zone 1 and the availability zone 2. In availability zone 1, you have created an EC2 instance, right? You have created an EC2 instance. And this EC2 instance, for that you are trying to what? Trying to add the EBS. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. Suppose if you take this instance is available in the availability zone called US East 1E. US East 1E. This is an EC2 availability zone. This one, right? This one. This one, the availability zone is 1E. But if you take a volume type, this is the volume that you are trying to attach, right? Let me click on this and I can show you what is the availability zone here. It is the 1A. It is not a 1E. It is the 1A actually. So remember, when you attach your EBS to EC2, EBS and EC2 both should be in the same region. We cannot use this EBS outside the same region, not same region, same availability zone. We cannot use one EC2 in one availability zone that we cannot connect into another EBS, which is in another availability zone. If EBS and EC2 in the same availability zone, then only we can able to connect. Then only we can able to attach your EBS to the EC2. Everyone got this point? Yes or no? Everyone got this statement? So let me delete this. I will create another volume better. And I will select 1 GP storage. And here I have to select the same availability zone. Say I will select 1E. And I'm adding the tag name EBS volume. Create the volume. Now I will try to attach. I can try to attach. Click on this. Action. Attach the volume. And click on instance. Now I can see the EC2 instance is running on that particular availability zone. Click on this. So rest of the thing leave. Click on attach volume. And now let me check. Click on these instances. And I will check the storage. I will check the storage. Inside the storage, I don't see. Let me refresh. And click on storage. Can you see? It is attached with 8 GB, also 1 GB. Now, at the time of EC2 running also, I can able to attach one EBS to the EC2. So this is the step you have to exactly follow this. Now, if you want to add one more volume also, you can able to add. Click on volume. Click on a create volume. And whatever the thing that you want, maybe suppose I need to go for throughput optimist. You can select the throughput optimist. Say, I'm selecting 125 is the minimum gigabyte that I'm selecting. And rest of the time I'm leaving. But here you should select 1E. Don't forget. Like, so just add a tag, say name, and say this is my throughput. Like that I'm giving some name and click on create a volume. I got this one, right? So let me attach this. How can I attach? Click on this action, attach the volume. And here the instance is running. Now let me click on attach volume. Attach volume, this one. Right? So now let me click on the instances. And when I select the instance type, click on the storage, I can see the storage, right? 8 GB, 1 GB, 125 GB. It is giving some device name also. Everyone clear how to create the EC2 instance after EC2 is running? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Clear, sir.
Okay. So now, guys, I have a question. Suppose if I delete this EC2 instance, what do you think? Will you able to see this storage part, this 3 storage part or not? Tell me. If you terminate your EC2, will be able to see this 3 volume or not? A quick question, this confirm.
I think no, it's not.
No, it's not. But I said like EBS is the persistent storage.
So it's a temporary storage, right?
Persistent storage is the temporary storage, I said. I said it's a permanent storage.
Okay.
There are 2 storage I have covered. One is ephemeral and persistent. EBS, I said it's a permanent, it's a non-volatile, it's a persistent storage, I said. Even if you terminate your EC2 instance, you will not lose the data. Let me check that one better. I can click on action or instance state, terminate the instance, and click on terminate. So it will take some time because it is shutting down. We will wait for a minute. Actually, it will terminate it. Then we will check. Once I can see the terminated instance state, we will check. Let's wait for it. Let's wait for some time. Okay, it got terminated, right? Now I will see the storage volume. When I see the volume, I can see 2 volume, right? 1 GB and 125. Still your volumes are available, guys. But I have a 3 volume, right? I can able to see 2 volume. This is I have created. This is also I have created. But at the time of EC2 creation, I have created 1 volume, right? That volume is not available. 8 GB is missing. Why? Why that 8 GB is missing? Listen. The reason because we only did that one actually. So when I click on launch instance, you are seeing the storage right here. Can you see the storage? Yes. Now let me click on this advanced and I will open this. Here you can see one option, delete on termination. It is in default got selected as an yes. Suppose if you are selecting the no, that's the storage also still it is available. But what we made directly we have clicked the launch instance. So delete on termination. Yes, when you add the additional volume, automatically that will be getting no. Can you see delete on termination? No. When you click on add a new volume, automatically you are getting the no. But for the first option, AWS as yes is the default. So if you don't want to delete that EBS, you can select the no. Everyone got this one? Yes or no?
Yeah.
So EBS is the persistent storage. So even if you lost your EC2, you will see the EBS. Now I don't want this EBS. Let me delete this volume also because it is wasting my resources. I'm deleting this one. So let us continue tomorrow. So far, everyone clear with EBS, different volume types, how to create the EC2 after EC2 instance got created. Everyone clear?
Yes,
Yes,
Dinesh.
sir. Yes, clear.
Fine. Then we'll see tomorrow, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.